Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how you can create 5 real estate post templates that you can use over and over and over again for those days that you just don't feel like posting. So these are ones that you can pre-make when you have all that good energy, and then when you lose steam or you're just having one of those days where you're like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to post, you can use these templates, and they're so easy to edit. They're so easy to just put your info in there and then post on social and you're good to go. So let's dive into Canva, and I'm going to show you step by step how to create these really easy post templates for real estate. Let's go. We are in Canva, and I'm going to show you exactly how you can make my favorite 5 lazy day post templates that you can use over and over and over again. Number 1 is a quote card or testimonial card. These are so great for lazy days because you don't have to put a lot of thought into it. What I love to do when it comes to quotes is save them on my phone in the Notes app. So anytime I see a quote that genuinely speaks to me, that makes me feel all goosebumpy, then I copy it and paste it and put it in my notes section. That way, when I come into Canva and I'm creating a whole bunch of quote cards in one sitting, which is going to take you like 10 minutes tops, and you'll have a whole bunch for the month. It's so great. So they're already ready to go. I don't need to go hunting for them. And this way, they really do hit home. Like, they're not disingenuous because you're grabbing quotes in real time that actually resonate with you. So that part's easy. Then you come into Canva, you change the quote up, and you're good to go. So let's learn how you can make this first card. Number 1, you're going to use your brand color for the background. If you don't have your brand color, then you're going to head over to the style section here, and you're just going to start selecting whatever works for you, because Canva's already done the hard work for you. They've put the time and effort into creating really great fonts that pair well together and color palettes that work well together. So all you got to do is keep clicking until you find one that resonates with you. Super easy. Love this tool, especially if you don't have branding nailed down. Okay, so let's say this pink color was my brand. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click T on my keyboard to bring up the text box, and I'm going to copy and paste my quote in here. So I'm going to put "Home is where the Netflix is," which is my own quote. Okay, I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Don't pay too much attention to the font. We can change all that later. I'm going to hit text box again, and I'm going to put the author. And I'm going to shrink it down. A good rule of thumb is that your subheading should be about half the size of your heading. So I always start there and then I move up if need be, but a good place to start is half the size. So I'm trying to make it teeny, and I think it's less than half the size. Let's see. It's 58. That's 30. It's actually pretty close to half the size. So we're good to go. Then the last thing that you're going to want to do is either put your logo, and if you don't have your logo, put your website. If you don't have a website, put your name. So let's say Sarah, let's make it all caps, Sarah Smith Real Estate. And let's make that super small because it's just going on the bottom here. And then I'm going to kern that out a bit, meaning I'm going to adjust the spacing between the letters so that it looks a little bit more dramatic. Shrink it down a bit. And we have our first card. Okay, so now again, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to head to the style section, and I'm just going to, now that I have everything planned out, I'm just going to keep clicking until I find something that looks really good. I'm going to keep this because it looks pretty similar to this one, but I'm liking this a lot. I'm just going to shrink my name down because I don't like quotes where it's like, bang, here's the person who said it. So, okay, we're good to go. Actually, I'm going to put a little bit of spacing there. That is quote card. That is lazy day post card number 1. Use a quote. So you have your quote or a testimonial. Oh, and one more thing. If you want to add a quotation mark, just head up here to Elements and type in quote, and then select one, either free or paid, depending on what version of Canva you have. And I'm just gonna, this is completely optional. You do not have to do this, but some people like to contextualize it in that way. So I'm going to head over to transparency, and I'm going to make it super light, just to give it some context, but not to take away from the actual wording. And then we're good to go. So that's card number 1, quotes or testimonials. Card number 2 is simply asking your audience to ask you a question. So I'm going to show you how you can create this box here. But if you don't want to trouble yourself with creating any of these cards, you can get them in my shop, shop4streetcreative.com, and the link is in the description, and you can just grab them and then customize them to your liking. But I'm going to show you exactly how you can make your own if you have the time and you want to do that. So I'm going to make a new page. And in order to make this box, what we're going to do is head over to the elements section. I'm going to type in shapes. And what we're looking for is the rounded box. So this guy right here. We're going to bring this down. And I'm just going to roll with that color. And then I'm going to need another same box. So I'm going to hit copy and paste. And now we have 2 of these. Okay. Canva doesn't want me to do that. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm grabbing the corners, grabbing the sides to just position it so it's a different size. And then I'm going to change the color so that you can see that it's a search box. And then I'm going to hit T on my keyboard to bring up the text box, and I'm going to say, ask me, let's take it off caps. Ask me a question about, real estate is a little bit too on the nose. So let's say staging or fall decor. Let's do something a little bit more fun that people would actually engage in, because real estate is a little bit on the nose for me. So let's just do, ask me a question about fall decor. I think fall is capitalized. This is where I need my content editor. Okay, and then we want to create this cool little profile picture, and we're going to do that by heading, instead of typing in shape, we're going to type in frame. And I'm going to choose the circle that already has a border around it, this one. And then I'm going to shrink it down. And voila, now you have your question card. So I'm going to head over to photos, grab a headshot. Let's grab one that's not so on the nose. This one's cool. I like that one. All right, so ask me a question about fall decor. And now we want to jazz up this post a little bit like this person did. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in something like fall related. Let's use this. Looks nice. Then we want to create this overlay here. So I'm going to head over to, you know what I'm going to do instead? Yeah, I'm going to show you a better trick here. So what I'm going to do is, this needs to obviously come down like a bunch. So we're going to bring this transparency down. And while I'm selecting this transparency down, what you can do is head over to this color box and then select the color that you want the overlay. So we're working with this brown color here. So I'm going to select that brown color. I might even select a lighter brown so that there's a little bit of contrast. And then we're good to go. And then you can continue to play with the transparency of the image without having to worry about adding a box on top. So I'm going to say this is pretty good. Now another trick is I'm going to hit shift on my keyboard and then select every element, right click and hit group. So now I can move this around as one. I'm going to place it kind of in the center, a little bit lower than the center. And then again, I'm either going to put my logo, my website, or my name, depending on where you are in your branding journey. Okay. And then I'm going to match the color here so that everything looks nice and on brand. And there you go. That is card number 2. So now you have 2 lazy day post ideas, and all you're going to have to do for this one is ask them a different question. So not only is this great for those lazy days, but it's also great for engagement because you're asking them to participate in something. Now, card number 3 is this or that. This is great. You can do this for anything. I've done it for dogs, but you can do it for types of pets. You can do it for home decor. You can do it for listings. You can do it for rooms, anything. And there's so many offshoots of real estate that the possibilities are endless. So you could even make this weekly content. And in order to make this card or a variation of it, we're gonna hit new, and then we're gonna select 2 photos, and what I'm gonna do is just 2 different rooms. So laundry room. I've never searched this before, so let's see what Canva has in the form of laundry rooms. Let me find 2 really nice, distinct laundry rooms. I don't know how nice that is, but maybe somebody will think it's nice, and that's exactly what this or that is for, right? And then I'm gonna move this up, and you'll see, well, it should. Canva's not doing it. That's weird. Usually it'll tell you where the midpoint is. Okay, I'm gonna stop working with that. I'm just gonna eyeball it. Okay, that looks like about halfway. And then I'm gonna choose another laundry room. This guy. It's not even a laundry room. There we go. Okay. Looks like it's a little bit off. Okay, now to rearrange the photos in the frame, just double click and then you can move them around. So you can choose the section of the photo that you want to show your audience. I kind of want a little bit more in that. And then you're just gonna hit the text box, T on your keyboard for text box, and type in this. And then that. And you can change the color so that they can see it better. Or you can do what I did here, which was add a box behind it. So you're just gonna head over to Elements, you're gonna get out of the frame section, you're gonna choose a square, and then you're gonna pop that where you want it to go. Make sure that the whole word is in there, and then I'm gonna adjust the transparency with the transparency tool. And then I'm gonna make this white. Okay, and then to make it easier on myself, I am going to hit Command C on my keyboard and then paste. Ugh, fine. Canva always makes things this difficult when you're trying to copy and paste. Okay, so now I've laid it over my wording. I'm gonna right click and say send backwards so it goes behind the text. And now we have this or that. How simple was that? That was so simple. And now that you have the template, so you can arrange this however you want. You can copy me exactly here, or you can just make it simple by saying this or that. And you can put it in multiple areas like this. You can put it right against the, like that. So have fun with it. This is completely your style, your way of doing your templates. But once that's done, what the magic is that now you have the template. So next time when you are heading to the photo section and you're doing cats and animals, just type in animals, and you can do anything you want here. So cats or cows, that's fun. Or you can do decor. And you can even go outside of Canva and find things and then ask people very specific questions like, do you dig this look on your walls, or are you more into something else? And you can do this over and over again whenever you're having one of those lazy day moments. Okay, the next one is a little bit more involved, but once you have the template down, you're good to go. So if you're a realtor creating weekly content like a blog or a video series like this one, or a podcast, then you're gonna have all this content that you can share with your audience. And a great way to share that is to break it up into bite-sized pieces of ingestible content, on Instagram. So you create this template and you create like a cover page like this one, and it turns into your weekly content. So this is 10 ways to decorate your small space, but your weekly content might be 10 ways to DIY your home sale, right? That might be your topic of the week, what you're writing about on your blog. And if you don't have a blog, you don't need to go out and get one. This is just if you have weekly content. You can always make this up on the spot. And you can do these in batches so that you're batching your content and you have these ready to go for any lazy day. So now let's break this down because it's a lazy day post. So we don't want to think of 10 ways. So let's think of three ways to DIY your home sale. And you create this card, and then you'd say, number 1, and then type in your topic. So use social media. Now guys, I am not a realtor. I am just making this up. This might be horrible advice. I don't know. Use social media to sell your home, right? And then also you're going to want to make it seem a little bit more difficult because you don't want people selling their own home. It's not good for them. All right. So then you would just talk a little bit about it, and you could grab this directly from your blog or weekly content. So if you have all that already set, you already have the content, and then you just swap out the photo and you're good to go. So you can do this again and again. All you would have to do here is duplicate the slide. And then what I would do is just bang, move this over, and then select all of these pieces and move that over, just to make it a little bit different. So when they're scrolling through on Instagram, they have left, right, left, and it makes it a little bit more visually appealing. And again, once you've done this once, you are good to go forever. So you do not need to do this every week. You're making these cards one time, and then you're just swapping out the photos and the tips. So what's another thing they could do to DIY their own home? Spread the word. Tell family and friends. And you just change this to 2. We're good to go. And then you would duplicate this guy and use these arrows to bring him down. And now you have number 3. Easy peasy. This one's a little bit more involved, but it's worth it if you batch it and you do this ahead of time so that when you have those lazy days, this is ready to go. All right, the last one is super easy. You're gonna put a selfie of yourself. You're gonna use the trick where you're putting the circle with the frame. You're gonna put your headshot, your Instagram headshot, so that it looks like it's coming right from Instagram. And then you're gonna use either a quote, a testimonial, or a you-ism. So something that you like to say, something that you tell your clients all the time. Anything that's gonna add credibility. It's you working in your element as the photo or a screenshot or selfie of yourself. And then anything that you wanna put there as the text. And this is a great lazy day post because it's ready to go for you whenever you're having one of those days. So let me just put, let me just find one here. I could literally just swap in any photo and we're good to go. Now remember, if your headshot, and this is one tip for this particular post, let's see here. Okay, so let's say I just grabbed the a selfie of myself and I'm thinking, man, it just doesn't go. The colors aren't working. What's happening? You're gonna use my transparency trick. You're gonna reduce the transparency slightly to about 90. Then you're gonna head up to the color tool and you're gonna choose the color that we're working with. Okay, so we're working with this brown color. So what I've done is I've just automatically added some of that color in here. Now you can go a little bit more if you want, but just be careful because it can start to look transparency, like you can lose the definition in the photo, but 90 or 80% even, and you'll get the tones without having to do any photoshopping or anything like that. So even 80%, we still look good. Double click to move him around so he looks less centered, and then you're good to go. And that is it, friends. 5 lazy day post ideas that you can create ahead of time. And if you liked this video, please hit like and make sure to subscribe if you want more of these videos. Happy designing.